Hello everyone, we are back and here to react to RWBY Volume 9, Chapter 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, last episode was quite horrifying. This was definitely, like, just a really, really brutal episode to
experience.
Yeah, and our girl Ruby is basically beaten down to...
Yeah, she's not Ruby anymore.
She doesn't want to be Ruby anymore, and she's now fallen into the roots of despair and is going to be changed, potentially. There is, like, change incoming for her. Little also fell with her, and Little can ascend. That's the thing. Little isn't dead. Little can resurrect. That Little is an Afteran, so... But...
We also have...
What happens when Little ascends? That's the question. Like, how much of Little changes? And Ruby, not being an Afteran, but I guess you can become... Like, not become one, but I guess something... You can still be changed by the tree in this world. Even though... We still don't know, and we're gonna maybe find out this episode what the tree does. Something is happening.
And we also have... Trader Cat.
It's a cat. Sus cat was very sus indeed.
And
its whole plan this whole time was to escape, like to get revenge or something. It is cursed with it is cursed with knowledge and curiosity. But it is.
Yep, and it's taken Neo.
It has possessed Neo.
So
we may be, and that's an interesting. Somebody mentioned, like, I remember seeing that, realizing, yeah, maybe the cat was trying to do this with Jean this whole time, but Jean just never had an empty, like,
Jean.
Maybe, and then maybe like another like possibilities. Those stars, the paper pleasers, protected Jean, kept him sane enough to keep the cat away from him. Like,
I think is interesting about Jean is that. He messed up in the way he treated the Afteran and the way he did his stuff.
Yeah.
But I think unlike every other character, his like determination ultimately is probably one of the strongest in the group.
Yeah.
Like even when compared to like Ruby and some of the others, like he still he had a goal, find the others when they landed, and he stuck to that.
Yeah. And he did have 20 years of preparation, 10 to 20 years of preparation for that.
And I think also after
Ruby was fresh. Ruby is still like fresh from battle.
I think also,
but yeah, like Lewis and the cat is definitely something that
made Jean more defensive against the cat.
But we will find out now what the heck happens now that the cat has Neo. Now that Ruby's been fallen / ascended. She's falling backward. She's falling up. What is that? I've heard that phrase before. It's like you fall, but you're falling upwards.
I believe it's called jumping.
We're ascending up. We're ascending downwards or something. And now, what can the others do? Like, what can Jean, Weiss, Blake, and Yang do now?
I also like, now that I think about it, that moment in the opening with the tree where they all fall and you just watch Ruby falling past all these events, and now we get Ruby's fall. So,
and now we have to find out, like, hopefully we can also find out, like, conclude what happened with Alex and Lewis too. Like, there's a whole lot that we have to figure out. But yeah, that was the last episode, and I need this episode to give me something.
Yeah.
So, you ready?
Absolutely.
Let's begin.
A door opened for Alex at the tree.
Voice.
Before she went back home. The girl had a great many questions to ponder. After all the lessons she'd learned, and the friends she'd made and lost, who had she become?
Summer!
Would she still be the same Alex when she went back home? The leaves of the tree rustled, and on the wind, Alex heard one more question. What are you?
now, Ruby? What does this place want? I don't understand. What did I do wrong?
We can figure this out. There's got to be a way to get to the tree.
Hello there. You appear upset. Would you be so kind as to tell me how I can help?
They're rocks.
Perhaps you are hungry?
Crystals.
Huh? No, that's okay.
John.
If I can get you anything else, please don't hesitate to ask. That's what I'm here for.
No, that's not.
What are you?
We are the Genial Gems, and we have arrived here to clean up this beautiful land and create something wonderful and pleasing.
They're reborn stronger than they were.
They're no longer paper.
They're not fragile.
They can bend elements.
This is them, isn't it? They're back. It's just like they said. They came back from the tree better.
But
No flood or fire will ever hurt them again.
By trying so hard to save them, I stopped them from becoming what they needed to be. I was being selfish because I wanted the rush of rescuing someone. And I got that here.
I think you're asking too much of yourself. We've been telling ourselves that failing means we're no good. But I can guarantee even the best huntsman in history, they've all lost. But they were still incredibly brave. And good.
Wise.
okay, but what about Ruby?
Maybe that cat was right. Maybe I just needed to accept it.
I mean, the cat's still evil. Oh no, they get to the tree.
It's not a place you go, it's a place you know.
What? It's a place you know.
A new place you know. It's the Herb.
Ruby?
Wait,
We have to get her out!
don't.
I think I get it. This is how we got here, or why the tree brought us here. Acceptance.
We've done everything we can. Now it's up to Ruby. Whatever happens next, we have to welcome that.
But what if she isn't Ruby anymore when she comes back out?
No longer a caterpillar.
That's not for us to decide.
I didn't expect you here just yet.
I wasn't expecting to be here. Are you the tree?
You could say that. But that is a simplistic understanding of the tree and what it does.
What's going to happen to me? Am I gonna die?
The only thing that can happen to you here is what you want to happen. The choice of what you become and where you end up is yours to make.
It's still your choice.
You don't know what you want, do you?
What's that?
The cat.
The cat in you, or
Way back.
Is that?
way
Way
out.
home.
It can't escape.
Oh, good! You made it!
I guess your little plan to get out of here isn't working.
You've always been the worst of the bunch. So Neo can't go through the door. No. She has no attachments to your world, nothing to return to. She has failed me, just like Alex did.
Like Alex?
That cowardly, wretched girl whose story you've been foolishly following all along. The same girl that I followed too. Because she promised me she would bring me back to Remnant with her. When in truth, she had no intention of taking me. No, after talking to the tree, she had a sudden crisis of conscience. Decided she wanted to fix everything she'd broken in the ever after, including poor Jean. And so Louis went. And at the very last moment, Alex didn't.
What did you do to her?
What anyone would do with a broken, useless thing. You didn't, you monster!
Oh!
She's still here. Yes! All my work! It's not lost! Deep down, she wants nothing more than to return to Remnant and play hero. I just need to cut her out, and she
They got-
will take me there!
No. Whatever happens to Ruby is up to her. Not you or anyone else.
Then I'll put you in the ground.
What are these lights?
The souls that are moving on to whatever they become next.
Do they choose what their next life will be like?
Such concern for souls you don't know? Or is it for yourself?
There's no way we're letting you get to Ruby!
But don't you see? What comes out of that tree might not even be your sister any longer.
I wanted to be the hero, like the stories that my mom read to me. I just wanted to do the right thing, but every step of the way, it's like there is no right thing. I tried so hard, and I may have just done more harm than good. I don't understand who I need to be, because who I am right now, she's not cutting it.
What if you could be anyone?
This whole time, I thought Alex made it back home and lied about everything that happened here. But you were the one who killed. Who lied! You were never a brave knight either. Just more fairy tale nonsense.
Oh, you! Oh.
Are these meant to be different, like
Who did this
huntsmen
belong to?
and huntresses'
It's
weapons?
not about who did, but who could. Can you feel the woman who might hold it? The weight of who she is. She could be you. You could put any one of them on and leave Ruby Rose behind.
I think I'm hearing Red Light Roses.
It's all so heavy. It's the only thing I can feel anymore. And it never, ever goes away. The feeling of not being enough.
And how would you measure enough? Before she went back home, Mom, the girl had a great many questions to ponder. What are you?
What? Oh! That 50 minutes went by real fast! Oh, that's... Oh! Wait, no, wait. Oh, there she... Wow.
That's Summer Rose. Huh?
That's her updated design. Wow. And that's her weapon, a huntsman's axe.
And rifle.
That is really cool. That is a really good... I like that design.
Oh, I think we got some spoilers for how the weapon works and the way those like little sketches of how things move. So I'm kind of excited to see that.
But wait, what is... What does that mean? That's the one. That's the interesting thing. That RWBY. I'm curious about RWBY. What is it? I'm curious about what this means when she. Like, does she take the weapon and become the person or something? I don't think so, but this is one of those things where it's like. It's one of those weird moments where I'm like, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it feels like it could. It's just, does RWBY become Summer? Like, that's not what, that can't be. But it's like, does she inherit her mom's life in a way? And more or less find out something? Maybe the memories.
Personally,
I don't know what, like... What's the result of this?
I don't think it's actually going to go that way.
I don't think it is either.
I think
but it's
she's
like...
going to pick up the weapon. She's going to have a chance to kind of see the life she could become, the person she wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she'll probably decide to work towards that and accept that she's not going to get a fast track there.
Maybe like she gets to have a conversation
with her mom.
With her mom.
Oh, that might be interesting. We get like she has the weapon, she now looks like Summer, and then we get like a back and forth between her talking to this new version of her and realizing that she can't be someone else. She can only be herself. Yeah. And she has to decide what herself is going to be.
Maybe.
And has to work towards that, which is going to involve
I
the
really
acceptance
don't
that everyone
want,
else has to
it's the thing is,
accept.
I don't want RWBY to lose Crescent Rose.
I want to see Crescent Rose updated, though. I want to see
but that's like
maybe golden or something now.
But
gold.
Yeah, because it fell with her, and now it's like I mean, I want to see Summer's weapon too, but that would be cool. But I don't want to lose Crescent Rose. That's the weirdest thing. Like that.
Oh,
that would
now I want to think about the song, the the Red Like Rose's like second part of it.
Mhm.
The lyrics to that one are gonna be so different now.
Okay, I will say I found it like
Even her mom in that song says, "I didn't want you to follow the path I did,"
Mhm.
and now Ruby's trying to follow that path, and
Yeah.
now Ruby has to not follow that path.
we gotta like I really that ending like just she caught me so off guard. I was like not prepared for that, and I don't know. I don't know if Neo's gonna survive this. I don't think she's going to.
I really
But
feel like Neo needs to survive this after everything's happened. Like nothing attaches her to Remnant anymore.
so, what does she become? Like, what can she become? That's another thing. So Lewis escaped. Lewis got off scot-free.
And probably became the author of the book.
Yeah, he wrote the book because his sister didn't escape with him. So
And because he was...
that's interesting that Alex just straight up got killed by the cat. Like, we don't... I mean, I feel like there's... I don't know if there's any more to elaborate, but it is interesting that that's how Alex's fate was not her... Nothing... Like, something changed in her, and then something changed in her again. And the cat's actions just ended her.
What was it John said? That Lewis was really, like... Not necessarily naive, but, like, very...
He was the
very
smart
positive,
one. He was the good one.
Which probably makes sense why when he wrote about his sister, he didn't write her as a villain. He wrote her as, someone who's more of a trickster or something like that. He was more nice to the way he put her in the story.
Oh.
But he also omitted himself from the story.
Yeah, he did.
I wonder if there's a reason for that.
There was something I noticed, and this was back in Volume 8, or I think Volume 8, but it was basically when Oscar and Ozpin are talking.
She brushed off her bumps and bruises. Nothing hurt worse than the loneliness in her chest.
I recognize that. The girl who fell through the world?
I shouldn't be surprised you're so familiar with fairy tales.
I've lived through my share of them. How are you holding up?
I thought the idea of falling through Remnant into a new world was exciting. I never understood why she was so sad when she finally made it back home. But now, it makes more sense.
She wasn't the same girl anymore.
Yeah.
But yes, Ozpin has a discussion, and Ozpin acts like he lived that fairy tale.
So he could have been...
But he also mentioned... It's weird. They talk like he did live through the fairy tale, as he said, like, I've lived through some of them myself. Although that means he could just mean, I've lived through a few of them.
I mean, he was connected to the Maidens.
Yeah, I mean, he's connected to a lot of the stories.
And Salem and all these other stories of Remnant.
But he also kind of mentions, like, she wasn't the same girl. Like, he didn't know what happened to her either. So... And now the story is that Alex is died and Lewis escaped. So Lewis obviously is the one who wrote the story. But maybe, although I doubt, no, dang. Like Lewis, here's what I'm thinking. Lewis wasn't Ozpin, but Ozpin became Lewis after the Ever After. That could be what happened.
Or Lewis is either A, one of Ozpin's incarnation's children, or B, one of Ozpin's incarnation's parents or grandparents.
The parent could be one of them, maybe.
So he told his children about the story and his, sister and everything. Mm-hmm. And then Ozpin, the grandchild, grew up hearing these stories. And so he kind of had a more personal connection. Or he might not even connect at all, for all we know. Still, it's one of those...
And now that we know that Alex didn't escape, Alex is not... so Alex is not Neo, basically.
I do wonder that, though. What if the cat thought it killed Alex?
But Alex ascended?
What if Alex is the Jabberwock? No.
Maybe.
I still feel like Alex...
Yeah, the Jabberwocker still has to come back.
Neo, but I feel like Alex found an idea of purpose to destroy the cat and stop its goals, and thus became a thing in the Ever After that could destroy the cat.
Yeah, but Alex more or less in a weird... Like, it seemed like from the cat saying that Alex had a change of ideals and wanted to make up for the things that she'd done. The cat was not something that Alex wanted to make up for until I guess the cat took her out. Then that would become... But if Alex... Now it's like if Alex resurrected into the Jabberwocker... Again, wait! Well, wait, hang on. Lewis wrote about a Jabberwocker.
Mm-hmm.
When in the story did the Jabberwocker ever come up? Unless that's a part of the story that... Again, now this... Again, man, see, this is confusing it. This is really...
Okay, yeah. The Jabberwocker would have existed before Alex. So Alex and Lewis, neither of them became the Jabberwocker. But the Jabberwocker existed. But the, Alex got taken out, so she never made it back home.
You know, that's a weird thing. We were talking about the Jabberwocker this whole time, but you're now thinking about it, you're right. Like, how would anybody have written about the Jabberwocker if Alex or Lewis became the one?
The only way that would have happened is if they wrote into the story
And it happened as they would.
like at their end before they left, or one of them left.
One of them witnessed it happening,
Which means that neither of them witnessed it as they left, meaning because Alex died and Lewis went home, meaning they existed before they left.
Yeah. And I feel like the Jabberwocker's purpose is just to be the simple, like, cleanup for Afterans.
I feel like because there must be a beginning, there must be an end.
Mm-hmm.
The Jabberwocker exists as the finale.
Yeah.
Which means the Jabberwocker comes in at the finale.
Yep.
Huh.
There's a lot of things that we thought...
Maybe the connection is that Neo and Alex were both kind of the cat meant to use them to get back to the world, and that's where the parallel is.
Maybe.
And they're both, like, more sinister.
Yeah.
Does this mean Neo gets a chance to connect with a tree and change and then fight the cat from the inside?
Yeah, maybe.
I still feel like Ruby would be the one who, in choosing her path, saves Neo, potentially.
Maybe.
Or at least helps Neo realize that there's more to life than what Neo has lived for. And that gives Neo the ability to fight the cat out.
Yeah, but
Or Neo takes the cat and dies with it.
Yeah, like, I feel, in a weird way, I feel like it's kind of a Neo use the Jabberwocker, and the Jabberwocker takes both Neo and the cat.
She could create a Jabberwocker to destroy her and the cat.
Oh, she could do that.
Oh gosh.
That would create, like, if she can create a Jabberwocker, then she could basically end it herself. That would be
a weird twist where Neo doesn't survive but does
save the day.
Change and save the day or something, or does stop the villain.
Mm-hmm. And
that'd be weird. I
kind of hope Neo, I don't want Neo to, I don't want this to be into the Neo, because I feel like there is something that it just would be interesting to see her interacting with the good guy, with us, our heroes, as not an ally, but just as somebody that even though, like, it's just always interesting to see, like, again, it was like Gollum interacting with Frodo and Sam. It's just that kind of interaction that I kind of wanted to see. Honestly, since Volume 4, I've wanted to see, like, Neo interacting with the heroes. It's interesting that Neo, like, is so empty, has no desire to go back to Remnant. Like, there's nothing that she wants to go back there. Now, that could be her trying to fight the cat, not allow the cat to escape. But that's interesting. So the cat could escape. It just needs somebody who desires to escape as well. But
ultimately, I hope Neo doesn't get defeated, but if she does, I do think the Jabberwocker clone creation to take them both out would be very interesting.
Also, Weiss.
Also, yeah, Jean.
Weiss blasted Jean. Weiss and Jean, I think, are starting to, like, at least, like, Weiss is starting to, like, see Jean in a new light, and it's really cute.
What if...
And yeah, the Afterans, they got...
What if Jean goes into the tree and talks with Ruby after Ruby has changed and is like, no, Ruby.
Oh, like that, like Weiss just killed Jean and now Jean can ascend.
That would be terrifying. But also I feel like Jean might be the one to set the tree on fire if necessary or something.
Oh gosh, like Jean ends the ever after. But that's the thing. The tree needs to exist for the Afterans to continue to exist in a way. And I'm curious.
I don't think he'll set the tree on fire, but I do think
I'm curious
the
about
flames was a...
the tree. If the... Yeah, and I kind of hope, like, oh gosh, is Jean going to make it? Is Jean going to survive? But I'm curious about if the tree... Ooh, okay, like the armorer, the smith, the tree, they talk about, like, these souls passing on. And I'm curious, does that mean souls, not just the Afteran souls? Could they be talking about remnant souls? Like, every soul in the world, like the Ever After is basically the end of the world for everything.
Could... If that's true, then that could mean that Alex did become Neo. If it became someone else.
And I don't know, that's more of like resurrection in a different sense.
Yeah.
But that's like, you know, being reborn in a different life, in a different world.
Also having Pyrrha attack Sean at that
I don't even, it's weird, I feel like he did, I don't even think he realized it was Pyrrha. It's just, it happened so fast.
And
but yeah, it's just evil how
it's just,
Neo's using, oh, she's so good at that. So yeah, that's this episode, and that was this, and next week is the finale. And we're getting out of here, one way or another. We are getting out of the Ever After, and we're going back to Remnant. And whether we...
Now, here's the question.
It's what's going to happen to Ruby, and that's curious. It's interesting how I'm curious about, like Yang, Blake, and Weiss. It's interesting how, I guess, they seem to already accept Ruby's decision in a weird way.
I think it's because with the Jean having to accept the change and Jean going through that and them going through their own, with Yang, of course, being the only one who wants Ruby to be Ruby because she's known her all her life. She wants Ruby.
And in a way, I guess it's more like it isn't death. It's not like the end of Ruby. It's just
like, oh, what is it? There's a saying. I think it was Alan Watts or whatnot. It was, people are like a whirlpool. They might look similar, like you see a whirlpool. It's a whirlpool, but the water that is there creating it is not the water you saw a minute ago or a second ago. It's always changing. So it's like it might seem very similar to what you expect, but it's always going through change.
Mm-hmm.
So people are always, and the world is always going through this constant change, even if it looks very similar day to day or minute to minute or hour to hour.
Yeah.
And then now we have our characters dealing with that.
Yeah.
Like Ruby's changing, even though she may or may not.
She will be the same, but she will be changed. And I'm curious, like, what kind of... Again, we have to, like, see what the finale gives us, because this is going to be a very interesting change. I would like to see Ruby not... I don't want to say, like, not see Ruby change. But I would like to... But I do feel like maybe this could be, again, her being... Actually, it's more like I want a little change, but I still want her to be her. I don't want her to be...
Restored?
Restored. Like, that's what it is, restored. I want to see Ruby restored and revived in her ideals.
Kind of like Jean.
Mm-hmm. Jean saw the faults of his ways.
And it doesn't mean he's giving up on them, but it means he understands that better what he needs to strive for. And Ruby
is seeing not
the fairy tales are not what she thought they were.
Yeah, Ruby is seeing like a little bit of the faults, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean, you know,
she's
like
losing her ideals, and now
it's like,
she has to. It's like
the fairy tales she's read and listened to. They all struggle too. It's like she's coming to that realization that, you know, they are heroes, but they struggled. They overcame.
It's making me think of Lord of the Rings with Sam and Frodo, where it was like, there's a point where they wanted to give up, where they could have given up, but they chose to go on. It's like Ruby
they chose to keep going forward.
Choose to keep going forward in spite of the darkness,
and you know, with new vigor in a way. And again, it's one of those things where I don't know what they're going to tell, like what the story is going to say. So I'm very curious for that. And we saw Summer, and she's gotten some upgrades, or at least she definitely isn't the same. She almost looks more like, she looks less like Ruby back in like Ruby's vision of her, and looks more like a fairy tale kind of Red Riding Hood in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say it is Summer reading that story. That was the woman in the beginning. That was a voice we heard, which now that I think about it, we have Summer's voice, and I didn't see who voiced her. I have to like look that up. But it's interesting that, and I will say, it's just a tiny thing, but man, they just used Ruby and Yang's big heads for their little kid. Like, I was just like, Ruby and Yang were not like they were children. Like they were babies when Summer left. And yet their heads looked like they were fully grown. That's just a tiny little, like, I know it's an animation shortcut, and I understand, but it is also, they've had kids, they've animated kids before, like Nora and Rin and all that. So this is a lot. So yeah, this is, again, it was a short episode, but now we have a long, hopefully we get a really long, I mean, we're gonna have credits. At the very least, like 30 minutes, because it's gonna be 10 minutes of credits. So, or 5 minutes of credits, 10 minutes of credits, whatever. I need it to be long enough. I thought this finale, next 2 episodes, were gonna be like 20 minutes, but we got 15, and maybe the next one's like 15 or 20.
Does Jean go to being young before he returns or not? Does he return?
I think Jean is gonna return. I hope he does, but if he does, he's going to be the same age.
Kind of feel like when he returns, he'll be younger, but he might look a little different.
They can clean him up.
That
doesn't, like, just because he's older doesn't mean he can't be like looking younger again.
I don't know. I feel like that would be one of those things where that much of a change returning to Remnant, there would be some sort of effect, maybe. Not really effect.
No, it's because like, again, as John's age was not magical; it was time.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that changed it. So it's not something you can undo unless you can reverse time, which we don't really have that power unless you are the separate. Again, John is not. That's a paradox. You would have to.
That also begs the question of the fact you can technically, I guess, go back in time in this world, which means the link of the tree and where it sends you might also go back in time, which means we have time travel in RWBY. But I don't think that's how it quite works, which means I think who they are here,
if
because
Jean,
it's malleable.
Now that I think about it, if Jean had gone back in time and left earlier, would he have gone back in time in Remnant?
I don't actually think that's how it works. And if it is, then they would be able to exploit it or use it.
Again, that's the thing.
So that's why.
See, here's the thing. We can't do the Ever After again until we get the Staff of Creation back.
I feel like the Ever After is more connected to it, maybe less to their physical and more to their spiritual self. So Jean has gotten older, but when he goes back, his body returns and everyone returns to how they were when they fell. I think the changes that happen to them stay. We'll see.
We'll see.
It's one of those things where it's like there's too much.
Yeah.
Again, the Ever After is like magic in a soft magic setting. Anything could happen.
It is a very unusual place where the rules
that makes me question what will happen.
There are no rules in a weird way. Or the rules are weird enough to where they can't be fixed by the rules of the own world
you could
itself.
expect a dozen things and any one of them could happen.
But yeah.
Makes me interested to see what will happen.
And with that, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, and we'll see you there in the finale next week.
Where it all comes to an end.
And we shall see
to a beginning.
We shall see what we're going to Vacchio or we're going back home.
It's going to make Volume 10 really weird. I'm very interested to see.
Yeah, we'll see. I can't wait to see. I'm excited to see what Volume 10 gives us.
Do you think... Okay, this is the last question before the finale. Do you think the finale will end with them going through the tree and we'll get nothing of...
We're not going to see the outside.
Outside? Or do you think this volume will end with them getting to the outside and us seeing
what outside is
what
like.
Volume 10 is.
Mm-hmm. A tease of Volume 10.
A tease of Volume 10.
I think, at the very least, we are going to get out. That's going to be the end of the main but the after credits might be our tease of what happens. We will see. Kind of like how the after credits was our tease of the Ever After in the last volume. So yeah. On to the next episode. Bye-bye.